Hello everyone, this is Alicia Walton and today we're going to be going over the introduction email assignment. This is your first assignment for English 104 and I know that it's a quick assignment in terms of it's assigned to you your first week, but I want you to keep in mind that it also is intended to give me an idea of where you are with your writing, and also it's intended to let me know a little bit more about yourself, right? So first things first, for this assignment, the first thing you're going to do is go to the assignment folder, which is under assignments. In the introduction email folder, the first thing we're going to look at is the assignment sheet. Depending on how you use this, it might come up differently. So the final draft is due for this particular assignment on May 21st. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure you understand when your due dates are. Is there a rough draft due date? Is there a final draft due date? Obviously, there's always a final draft due date. For this one, you do not have to turn in a rough draft. So make sure you note that on your particular assignment. Also note that the length of this assignment is 1 page. If you happen to be the student who struggled to write 10 pages in your first English class and you were only able to write 5, but your professor wanted you to write more and keep filling out the pages, then this class is for you, because most of the time you will be working on writing as concisely as possible, and that means delivering information to your audience in as brief of a manner as possible, while still remaining grammatically correct in your information. And I'll go into that more throughout the semester. So you're only allowed to have 1 page. It's very easy to go above and beyond that first page for some people. If you're one of those people, you're going to have to just kind of tighten the reins a bit. So for this assignment, you're writing a 1-page email introducing yourself to me in the class, and you're going to be using an email format with a business-like tone, and you're going to make sure that you keep your audience in mind. Your audience, again, is me and your classmates. The message should include an introduction, a background section, a section on work experience, career plans, a review of your writing skills, and a conclusion paragraph. The conclusion paragraph only needs to be brief. Once you've completed the document, you're going to be submitting it via SafeAssign on our class Blackboard page, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. In this paper, it says to print out a copy and turn in. Make sure that you understand what needs. So when writing your email, I want you to keep a couple of things in mind. First off, this isn't an actual email. You are not going to be sending me an email. This is a document that you're going to be typing up in Word that looks like an email. It mimics an email, but you're not going to be sending me an actual email, okay? I don't want you to get confused on that point. I know it sounds confusing, but this has worked as a format in the past. I just occasionally have a couple of students who sometimes get confused and try to send me an email. Do not send me an email. This is just a paper written in the format of an email, because I want you to become familiar with the concept of writing emails in a professional tone. Alright, so when writing your email, make sure that you include an introductory paragraph, a body, and a concluding paragraph. And you'll do all of these things like almost accidentally when you include each of these sections. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. For the format, you're going to have the individual sections, and then in 1 to 3 sentences provide additional information. So here you're going to talk a little bit about your background and try to think of something unique or memorable that you could talk about. And so for each of these sections, these instructions go into detail about what you can provide. And I know you can read, so I won't use this time to read to you. So a few helpful tips. Remember, this isn't an actual email. This is a paper that is formatted like an email. Make sure you do your best to remember that your classmates and I are your audience. So don't say something you don't want us to know. And make sure that you inform us and try to build goodwill. And remember, you want to make sure that your email is not longer than 1 page. So let's look at an example of what this could look like. So let's go back. Sorry about that. Now this is an example that my colleague created, and I like it a lot. These comments on the side, this is just what she included to provide as feedback. You don't need to do that. But you see the format here? The way it's formatted like an email? That's what I mean by formatting this like an email. Now she talks about it like it's an introductory memo. And your book talks about memos. I do not talk about memos much in this class. Frankly, the only time memos come up in specific fields, such as certain, like within the legal field and in the medical field, memos are still used. But for the most part, memos are a dinosaur. They are slowly dying out. So we're going to focus on emails. But this is how it's laid out. So you're going to give your brief introduction here, just 2 lines long, maybe 3 if you want it to be. Notice that background is bold and it's separate, and then she goes into her background and she talks about 2 unique things about her, right? Work experience again. It's a subheading and it's bold, and then she goes into more information. Now, where she says blah blah blah, you are not allowed to say blah blah blah. I want you to tell me about your career plans. Alright, and notice how quickly she reaches that bottom of that first page, right? That's not quite there, more like here, but she's almost there. So be careful. And do make sure that you actually include this piece up here. You want to have the line right there, the dividing line, the RE, the date, from, to, and everything. Alright, that's the example I want you to look at. The rubric, next up. Now this is called a rubric or a grading sheet. This is how I grade your paper. Now if I were to print it out and print out your paper, I would literally staple this to the top and give you points for that. What I'll be doing instead is importing it into your into the grading section. And I will also be done with your paper. Since this is an online course, you won't need to be printing out a paper and turning it. Instead, I will be importing it into the SafeAssign grading tool so that I can use it to grade there. So in case you're wondering how I grade your papers, look through here and this actually breaks it out point by point. And notice that I do look for grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors, and that you do get points deducted for those errors as well. Last but not least, let's look at the SafeAssign link. So when you finally finish your paper and you're ready to submit it, click the SafeAssign link. So we can see here that the paper is due on May 14th by midnight. It says 0 points possible. That's not right. That's not right at all, but for now, let's not worry about that. That's something for me to fix. You browse your computer, or you can literally just drag a file into this, and then you click I agree to submit my paper with global reference. And this just checks it for plagiarism, which is a requirement for the English department. And you hit submit. And that's it. But you want to make sure that you've submitted your paper before midnight on Monday. And that's it. So go ahead and get to writing and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.